Welcome to Sense and Sensibility. My name's Sandy Plouff and I'm your hostess. And my guest today is Rick Tolle from the Family Law Center. And if I said that incorrectly, he will correct me.
That is correct. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. You've been with us before in the past. We've talked about many different issues, but today I think we're going to talk about, what is it, Social Security? That's what you
Social Security benefits and Social Security disability, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to let you get started and just tell the public there what Social Security is and just go right on down the line.
All right. Well, I am in a small firm, Rick Tolle and Associates, and also affiliated with 3 other attorneys at the Family Law Center. We're at 8 West Walton in Muskegon. We have 2 emails. Rick Tolle and Associates has ricktolle@justice.com that you can send me a direct email. And we're also at the Family Law Center. It's famlaw.com. And I've been doing Social Security disability work for approximately 30 years. It's one of the mainstays of my practice area, and we handle claimants. Usually hearings occur at Grand Rapids, the Office of Disability and Review, and it's quite a pleasure trying to help people get through what is a very large bureaucratic organization, make sense of it, and address the problems and get the cases presented properly.
Right. Now tell us a little bit about some of the different types of Social Security that we might want to focus on.
Well, Social Security is divided into 2 primary benefit areas. There is Social Security retirement and disability based on insurance, based on the amount of earnings and insurance premiums that are paid in during your work life. People are familiar with this because anybody who's working has the FICA taken out of their check, which goes towards their retirement and towards any insurance benefits they might be eligible for, such as Social Security disability. The other program is Supplemental Security Income, commonly known as SSI. That's for folks who either haven't paid in enough, are too young to have paid in, or for some reason have low income and have not worked within recent years to qualify for the disability insurance program.
So can we expand a little on Social Security disability? Now, who might qualify for this?
Well, that's a good question. And Social Security disability is a program that a broad range of people might look at. First and foremost, it's for beneficiaries, survivors of persons who have become disabled or have passed away. That wage earner, either father or mother who has become disabled and passed away and has dependent children, they are eligible usually for a Social Security benefit. The surviving spouse of that wage earner can become eligible at a couple of different points. A surviving widower or widow can become eligible for early retirement at age 60 or for disability benefits at age 50, which is a greater benefit than they would normally receive on their own earnings. In other words, they can choose whether they want to receive disability on the wage earner, their program, an insured status benefit level, or their own benefit level, whichever is greater. So people do have choices when there's been an unfortunate event in the family or a disability that has occurred or death because of the wage earner. And these choices can be explained by the district office here in Muskegon if you think you're eligible for that program. Or you can obviously visit our office in Muskegon.
Now, what about people who experience challenges? Maybe they have hearing problems, or, maybe they were born with a problem, and I think that's a different kind of Social Security. but something that actually prevents them from attaining their max as far as employment. Now, what would you suggest to them? And people will be watching this and they'll be thinking, well, maybe I have this issue or that issue, but I can still do thus, and so, but it really doesn't provide for my family like I know I could if I didn't have this issue. What would you suggest to them? How do they go about it?
I think I understand your question. Somebody might be thinking they're having difficulty either obtaining a job or keeping a job because of a physical, emotional, mental disability, or a combination of these disabilities that make work difficult.
Just say, for instance, they have a hearing disability.
If they have a hearing disability, there's a couple of things that can happen. Of course, people do get medical care and become treated for whatever their disability is. They can listen to, and they should listen to, their treating source, their eye doctor, or anybody who's treating some sort of impairment. That physician may encourage a disability application. You could also contact us or the Social Security office, or incidentally, they have a wonderful website as well, ssa.gov, where you can learn and find out those listed impairments that if you have a medical problem, whether it's cancer, a hearing loss, an eyesight loss, heart problem, A to Z, you can visit the Social Security website, and there's a little page, section where you can ask a question or research a point of law. And if you put in the listed impairments or the disability listings as a query, that will tell you exactly what all those listed impairments are. If you meet one of those listed impairments and you're not working or earning what they call substantial gainful earnings, you qualify for disability benefits generally. And so Social Security tries to make it easy for people with very severe impairments, and they've made a listing of hundreds of medical conditions categorized into 12 categories, from back and heart and hearing and eyesight. All these areas are categorized and laid out. So if you get to that step, which is one of the first steps where the disability office evaluates your criteria, that's one of the first steps where they will ask you, do you meet a listed impairment? If you meet the listed impairment, it's sort of like you pass go and you get the $200 and you're on your way. So there are other ways to qualify for disability too, and I know that might be one of your next questions.
Probably.
How many other ways? If you don't meet
Right.
one of these listed impairments, then it becomes a little bit more complicated. Social Security looks at your age, education, and work experience, and I know that's a sort of a, I just rolled off my tongue, but age, education, and work experience. Let's take age, for example.
Okay.
If somebody's over 50, Social Security wants to pay special attention to you. If you have a disability, if you can't work, if you have difficulty working, or if you can only work part-time. If you can't earn those substantial earnings, more than $1,000 a month, approximately, if you're
So
limited,
what you're saying is if you're not making at least $1,000 a month,
Yes.
then they're going to take a good look at you.
they're going to take a look at you, and they're going to figure out, why is this person only able to work part-time? Do they have a disability which has been continuing for more than a year, or is expected to continue for more than a year? If somebody has an injury at work, or if they have a back problem and they had surgery, and the doctor says or they had a stroke, it's going to take you at least a year to get back on your feet, or between the 6 months that you've been suffering and the 6 months that it's going to take to recover, we have a year in that category. We have months in the past, months in the future. Altogether, it totals at least a year. Social Security has that rule too. They don't want people to be interested in Social Security disability unless there's at least a year duration, and we can assure people that we cover all the bases when we're trying to figure out if they've met that 1 year requirement.
Well, this is really interesting. You know, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and talk to Rick in just a few minutes.
Thank you.